What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back again with another The Family Chantel video. And this one is episode 2 of the new season. So without no further ado, let's start off by giving a big massive shout out to every single person that is a member of the channel. And now let's get into this week's episode so we can see exactly what went down.
Sí, pero el problema es que no está limpiando, no está organizando, no haciendo nada. Solamente soy yo solo que estoy limpiando la casa siempre. No, tampoco, no tiene tiempo para ir a comprar los groceries.
So his mum asked him, so why aren't you relaxed whenever she's around? He obviously decides to respond with the answer, as you can see, he gave him, and obviously he's still complaining about how she's not housewife material, how she doesn't do all the things that he's used to getting done by his mother and the rest of the ladies in the family, all the cooking and cleaning and all that kind of mumbo jumbo. But the matter of fact is though, these two have been together for how long now? And they've been on and off for how long now? And on top of that, they've also lived together already in a previous address as well. So why are we in the situation where he's still complaining about the same stuff? Or things that should have been at least discovered at the very beginning? It just tells you more and more like how either one, he just is just stupid for sticking around with someone that he knows can't make him happy. Or that maybe TLC just keep forcing a storyline when it comes to the couple. Who knows? But as far as I'm concerned, this guy, he needs to grow up and leave her and find a woman that's going to satisfy his freaking needs. Because at the end of the day, there's no point of sitting and saying that she needs to do that, she needs to do that, because at the end of the day in life, it's important that you find yourself in a relationship with someone that is compatible to who you are. And if you're not compatible, well, then you're just not compatible. It's a no-brainer.
We've been fighting a lot. She can be a little selfish because she only thinks everything's about her.
Let's not even get into a conversation about who is selfish. Let's just be real.
I always see my other neighbors, them, the wife, and outside, help the husband to do the stuff at the time, you know what I mean? Clean, organize. They always been doing together for me.
Pedro, if you're so upset about all these other couples doing things together, and then when you do by yourself, well, again, like I said, the simple step of leave her and find someone that's going to fulfill what you need. Honestly, I don't know how TLC doesn't get bored with just people going to keep producing them the same bollocks. Yeah, that's the word.
Since now that I have my new career and have a lot of problem with my family, we believe that Chantal gonna be more supportive to me, but she's been not supportive.
And that's my problem. You know that you got problems with your family, and you know your family has always had problems with Chantel, but yet you're gonna go and open your mouth about Chantel to your family. Can we make that make sense? Oh wait, no, we can't, because that is just stupidity. Honestly, I don't know what's worse. Kobe telling Emily's dad that he's got 4K rather than 2K, or this guy going off to his mummy and complaining about Chantel not being this and that. Some people just don't know how to grow up. Some people just don't have the oomph to go and actually find someone that actually fulfills what they need and what they desire, and rather waste their time settling for people who are just going to continue to infuriate them. Psst. Humans.
Angry with my sister, the way that she behaved, like she never picked my side. She never believed me. The other truth I said to her, she preferred to believe in Alejandro than believe in his brother.
It's a challenging one, because everybody knows what it's like to be in a relationship with someone, and how your mindset can be very tunnel vision, yes. And at the same time, how it's very hard for us to see any other narrative or perception, because we are fixated on being with that person and making that person happy, even though we know this person isn't a good person, right? So of course, in this moment in time, it's always going to be challenging, because, well, you know what it is? Okay, I understand why Pedro's upset. I do. But after this line here, he talks about how she chose water over blood. I think, to be honest, when it comes to what blood is supposed to, what family is supposed to be, is that when you're going through a time with someone that they know isn't good for you, but you're not listening to them when they advise you, well, once you actually leave that person, your family should still be there for you. They shouldn't be mad at you. But I mean, they should definitely be mad and upset, because obviously things went down last season with the physicality and all that kind of stuff. But the matter of the fact is, though, if he's worried about her choosing water over blood, well, then in that case, well, because you are her blood, you are her family, well, then you should now be able to say, you know what? I know what happened, and I wasn't happy with that, but I'm glad that you've now seen that you've made the right choice. Because that's a good way to make sure that she doesn't go backwards and track back with Alejandro again. I mean, she may do it regardless, but him being supportive and understanding is better than him being bitter. Because the problem with Pedro is that he loves to be bitter. He loves to complain. He's literally a diva. Anyway, let's continue.
Right now, I got a lot of stress in my life, my family, my relationship with Chantel. From my time, I keep it by myself, that's it. That's what my grandma told me, like, you know, keep it to yourself, that's it.
I do love how Pedro talks about how it's all about Chantel. Chantel's selfish. Talks about how his sister's all about her, she's selfish. All I can hear him talk about is himself, though. How the hell is this guy on TV, honestly? I don't know how any of them on TV, to be honest with you. They're all just pathetic. That's just the grand scheme of it. But, okay, Pedro. All right, I guess we'll call this the episode of Pedro's whining and crying like a little diva, rather than stepping up and taking control of the situation. First and foremost, he can step up, take control of the situation with him and his sister, obviously make amends with her, obviously, you know, say what's needed to be said about how, you know, how wrong she was, but also how happy he is that she's now finally, you know, made the right choice. And of course, still express that he's not happy with her, and he's still upset with her, but of course, has a brother, he's obviously going to be here to support her and know that, you know, we're still family. That's the high idea behind family, if you ask me. And then when it comes to Chantel, that's just a no-brainer even more. That's even more simpler than the situation with his sister. That situation where he should just be like, listen, we're breaking up. That's it. That's it. But that's something that should have happened like way back.
He hardly like tells me anything about work, but he's making a lot of friends at work, and that's where he's spending a lot of his time after.
Listen, if you're with someone and they're spending most of the time with their work peoples after work, and they're doing it more often than none, in fact, it makes you feel like they spend more time with them than they do with you. You start to believe, are they avoiding you? You start to believe, are they trying to prioritize other things over you? You start to think, is there cracks potentially in your relationship? Then some people are oblivious and they're like, oh, he or she's just having fun with their friends. It's good that they get out now and they've got some friends to keep them occupied. But the reality is this: if you're with someone, in my opinion, that is prioritizing their work friends more than you, it's a sign to say that they are generally trying to avoid you. They're trying to have as minimal contact with you as possible because they dread coming home, because they dread any kind of conversation they may have with you, and they dread anything that may just turn out in a negative tone. Take note. So to be honest, if this is how Pedro is behaving and it's now forcing to have a change, she needs to recognize what's happening. But I don't know if this is true. A rumor had it, I think about a month ago before it aired. I saw a post somewhere talking about how she wasn't wearing her wedding ring anymore and how maybe they're not together now currently, but I don't know. But should they be together right now currently? Hell to the freaking no. Just saying.
I'm glad that he found something that he's so passionate about, but the way he treats me has changed. It makes me feel like my husband doesn't like me and that we don't have a friendship anymore.
Oops, that was the wrong screen. But nonetheless though, everything you just said, dearie, about how he doesn't like you no more and he treats you differently now. Trust me, he treats you differently because he definitely just doesn't want to be around you anymore. And he's just not in love with you anymore. That's it. I wouldn't go as far as saying he doesn't like you. He's just not into you anymore because he's too stuck up in his diva pants about how you don't be doing things that his mum would be doing for him normally, or women from his culture would be doing normally, pretty much. Ah, man, yeah.
Your cat.
Oh,
How's your cat?
yeah, she's great.
So you get the cat. The next step is kids. Oh.
That pause though. But to be honest with you, should Chantel and Pedro be having kids? No.
I felt Pedro pulling away from me before he got his new job, but since he's gotten his new job, like the affection has just really stopped altogether.
Well, there you go, Chantel. Simply means that your husband just isn't into you anymore. You know what? I sit here and I say to myself, why am I even still watching this garbage? Because it's like just so repetitive and just so pathetic. But I guess I'm here being optimistic with hopeful that maybe something's going to pick up that's going to be quite interesting to report on, you know what I mean? But I never thought that this video itself in particular would literally be like a mere 10 minutes long. Because legit, there's not been much happening this week on the Flammy Chantel. But then again, though, we get the same type of stuff from Darcy and Stacey as well, do you know what I mean? Well, nonetheless, though, this is all that I could obviously react to this week in terms of what happened. And we'll be back again next week. And hopefully we'll get some more context out of, you know, their episodes. But I know a lot of people are just as fed up as the show is just becoming more and more You think sometimes TLC are onto something, but no. Nonetheless, though, thank you so much for your time, and I'll catch you guys in the comment section, as well as obviously next week for the family Chantel, and of course the rest of the content throughout the week. But hey, like, subscribe, and peace.